I wonder if it will be 1 second.
It will definitely not be 1 second.
Alright.
But we are up and running now, so time to finish part 2 of character creation. And once we've done that, have time to begin the actual game.
Cool.
So, I'm just finding the point where we left off. I saved myself a little document. There we go. So, what we still need to do is we need to cover the additional technocratic skills. So, basically, now over and above the skills that are already on the sheet, there are a number of additional skills that only the technocracy has access to.
Nice.
And I'm going to give you 10 additional points to spend in these skills. Now that is not going to be enough to get these skills up very high, because even though you are quite powerful individuals, you are still quite new to the technocracy. Most of your time has been spent in training, which is enough to get you the basics, but not enough to master these new skills. Okay? So I'm posting into the chat. All of these skills, unless otherwise noted, you can buy a maximum of 2 points.
Where was the additional skills? I had it on the sheets on top, you said?
No, they are not on the sheet, but if you notice, there are 6 boxes at the bottom that you can fill in.
We had 10 points, yeah?
10 points.
And where do we put this?
In the 6 boxes at the bottom of the abilities. You can fill in the additional skills there.
There's one under each. So we have 10 points, and each one can have a maximum of 2.
But how?
Unless otherwise noted.
How do we know if it's a talent, skills, or knowledge?
I can discover those if you'd like. I believe the negotiate. They go in order, it's just where the cutoff is. I believe. So, negotiation and newspeak are talent. Biotech, energy weapon, helmsman are skills. And... oh no, they're not all in order, are they? Just a second.
Oh well, I mean, we can figure it out.
Yeah, it doesn't actually matter which one of those they go under, because you're going to be using them differently anyway.
You've written energy weapons gain dots equal to firearms. Does that mean that I have to spend points, or do I get it?
That means you automatically get energy weapons equal to your firearms without having to spend points in it.
Awesome!
Um,
Can we also spend points in it?
You can
That
spend
is nice.
points over and above that
To max 5.
to a max of... I didn't put an additional max on there, did I? No, so it's a maximum of 2 if your firearms... unless your firearms is above 2, at which point you get your firearms.
Okay.
Interrogation, is that a talent, skill, or knowledge?
That would be a talent, I would say. It doesn't actually matter what column they're in.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hang on, I gotta write this down, shit. Hang on.
Yeah, because I've already got hypertech and biotech. Well, I guess those can be technically knowledges.
Yeah,
Energy weapons would be better as a skill.
Like I said, what column they're in actually has absolutely no impact on the game.
Yeah, but I like to sort things.
So
And it also doesn't help that they only give 2 additional columns.
But it's like me as Syndicate can't have biotech, right?
Why not?
If I understood your list correct. Okay, so I can have it. It's just higher for that role.
Yeah, you can have
it's
you
higher
can buy a
max.
maximum of 2.
Yeah.
Everyone,
Okay.
and then the ones that are listed, the biomechanics and progenitors, can have a maximum of 4.
And luckily, I'm in biomechanics.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go that way though.
Yeah. So I've got hypertech 3, biotech 3, energy weapons 2 for free.
Nice.
So I have
Done.
4 more points to spend.
Doc, are you putting anything in torture? I'm just
not.
asking.
I'm not.
Neither
I'm
am
putting
I.
Everything in negotiation.
I'm gonna do
Okay.
security pretty
Yeah.
high because that would actually fit me.
Although I might actually do torture instead of jury rig.
I'm gonna do negotiation as well. It makes sense for my character.
I think I'm going to put security to 4 because I actually would have completed some cybersecurity courses.
Well, security is only a max of 2, remember?
Oh, that's right. Max
If
2.
if it's not otherwise listed, it's a max of 2.
I'm going for interrogation 4 because obviously.
Yeah, that one's in your in your area.
Yep.
Especially as an
biotech-
operative. Especially as an operative.
Like if I would be bad at that, I might as well just give up. Hey,
Like-
pretty please tell me where the bad guy is. No, shit, I'm out of ideas. Damn it.
There's nothing.
He has bested me.
What would be something I could specialize in biotech? Because I bumped that up to 4.
What's construct politics?
I'll answer those questions in order. So, biotech specialties for you, I would recommend cybernetic attachment.
Alright.
The actual process of installing cybertech onto someone.
Okay, that will come in handy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got biotech 4, hypertech 3, energy weapon 2, jury rig 1, and security 2.
Now, construct politics, I'm going to go ahead and recommend that it's not worth you taking at this point.
Okay.
Basically, in a lot of games, rather than having your own construct, you end up being part of a larger construct.
Oh, so like managing it?
Well, no, not necessarily. You might start out as minor members in a construct with 100 people. And you work out of that base, but it's not your base. And if that's the case, construct politics allows you to manipulate other people in the base to get more of what you want. Now, I would also allow you to use construct politics if you wanted to, if you are going into another technocratic construct or another technocratic base.
But would we have the knowledge to have the inter-politics understanding that goes outside of our own construct?
Well, you can buy it up to 2. So at 2, you know a bit about it, but you're not an expert. So I would say you in the 5 years you've been training, you could have had that much. Yes.
I'm gonna go 2. I know it's not necessary for the game, but it makes sense for my character. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna waste some points on it. As they say.
It's one of those things that it's. I'm not predicting that it's going to become a big thing, but you never know. And if you do want to go the political angle, and you do want to do more of that integrating with other constructs or other offices, then that could come in handy.
Well, you know my character.
Yeah.
It's
I could understand you going with it. I could understand Doc going with it. I don't really see any of the others necessarily going with it.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm going jetpack.
I'm not
Yeah, I was
surprised at
actually going
all.
to say Seeger. I was going to say Seeger. You
Get in
gotta
that
get
fucking jetpack, boy.
not surprised.
Covert culture and security. What would those two be?
Covert culture gives you a knowledge of covert operatives, spies, how they operate, where they operate,
Yes, please.
where likely safe houses might be, how to interact with spies, that kind of thing.
Yep.
What was the other one?
All right.
Security.
Security is security systems. It's how do you lay out the security? Where do the tripwires go? Where do the cameras go? Where do you put the
Perfect for you.
guards?
Okay.
Would it also be a part of like digital security?
Yeah, well,
Or
like I
would
said,
that
yeah,
fall under
that
computer?
would, actual like online digital security would fall under computers.
Okay.
This would be more the actual physical placement of where do you put the people, where do you put the tripwires, where do you put the heat sensors, where do you put
Alright.
the pressure plates, that kind of thing.
I will be bumping my computer up later so I can do that. Because I'm learning that and it would make sense.
I am done adding mine.
Piloting 1.
Yeah, I
That-
did the same.
Yeah, what does that do? Like, because yeah, but a 1 is like you need
Gen-
that
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 means
two
you
to
can
be
do it.
You have the license. You have the license to fly a plane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at one point, actually, there's an example in here. 1 second.
Yeah, the drive was like that, wasn't it? One point
Yeah,
means you had
Because I'm
license
I'm
to.
thinking like if one dot is like you're very bad at it, like in that case
no.
I am very bad at
No.
it. I can find the
No.
ignition switch.
No,
No.
drive
Oh.
was described as even at 0 points, you can still drive. It's just
Drive, yeah.
doing
Yeah.
anything.
Like-
Now, pilot, I
And
think
two
pilot
dots
is a
for-
little bit different. Let me just check.
Yeah.
Because not
But-
everyone can pilot.
No, but I think like a 3 would be an air jet fighter. I mean, I think that's how high it goes. At least in my mind, it does. Because it has been like that all over the place. If you have a 0, it's general knowledge. Everybody knows. 1 is like basic knowledge. 2 is advanced knowledge. 3 is expert knowledge, and then superhuman, and then superhuman.
See, I just want to be a good enough pilot to like, okay, I can lift this helicopter and I can get from point A to point B without dying.
Yeah, I
Not
think
necessarily
that.
in
That
one
would
pass.
probably be one.
I think Pilot 1 would do that. I went with Pilot 1 as well, just because that would be in my interest. I'm gonna own my own thing and I fly it.
Because if we were to get a list like first day of academy, well, please write your interest. Like, oh, I can get a pilot's license. Cool.
Yeah,
I'm
I would.
signing up for that class.
I would do the same thing.
Energy weapons? Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Jetpacks? I don't know. Can I skip that one?
I'm with you on both though.
Torture? Sign me on. Whoa.
It's
Nice.
that's
Okay, here we go. Pilot.
Yeah.
At a novice, which is 1 dot, you are considered to be a prop jockey. So they give you the controls if it's stable, but they wouldn't necessarily trust you in a fight.
Fuck that.
You're like an apprentice.
Yeah,
No, but
no.
yeah.
At
If everything's going good, you can do it. But if shit gets hairy,
Yeah.
the better person will take over.
At 2 dots, you are considered a practiced wingman. Means that you are solid enough, but not quite ready to take the lead. At 3 dots, you are competent or a rotor head, which is kind of where you are properly good at what you're doing. 4 dots is an expert or a top gun. 5 dots, you are a master.
Yeah, in that case, I'm not gonna spend that much on that. So
Oh,
it's
I
fine.
would. I'm still gonna take a point. I would still have been out flying.
Yeah.
So with a trainer. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at one point, as long as you're not getting into any aerial fights, you're fine.
What was the
Billionaire,
dots again?
billionaire kid. Of course, I'm gonna have some piloting powers.
What was the
It's
question there,
actually
Charles?
general concept.
What was 3 dots again? Sorry.
3 dots is
Good.
competent.
Okay.
I will put 2 nuke in and no. This is hard.
How many points were you putting in jetpack, Charles?
3.
3.
Nice.
Gonna
Nice.
be out flying. I like it.
Nice.
There is our
Do I-
eye in the sky.
Do I need piloting for jetpack?
Nope, it's completely different.
Okay.
I'm just gonna give you the ranks for
Okay, yes,
for
please.
jetpack. 1 dot is literally in the book listed as oh shit. That is literally what 1 is ranked as. And that actually does have 5 O's, 3 H's, 5 I's, and 8 T's. 2 dots is awkward but not dangerous. 3 dots is confident in the air. 4 dots is skillful enough to fly at high speed. And 5 dots is the Rocketeer.
So 5 dots is basically Iron Man.
Have you not ever seen the old movie The Rocketeer?
No.
No, I didn't think you would have. It's probably from before you were born.
Thanks, bud. I've seen a lot of 80s movies, but not that one. Or is that a 70s movie?
Conspiracy theory.
Actually, no. Sorry, it was 1991.
Oh.
Oh shit! Is it that old? I'm feeling old. now.
It's
You still wouldn't have been alive.
still older than me, Jamie.
Sorry?
No, I got math confused for a second there.
Yeah, The Rocketeer, 1991.
Sorry, what a conspiracy theory? What's that?
Conspiracy theory? Let's find it.
The poster
still
for the
figuring out-
Rocketeer looks like Art Deco Iron Man.
Kind of, yeah. He didn't have all the extras.
Well, that is the helmet.
Yeah. He basically had a helmet, a leather jacket, and a jetpack.
Yeah.
Sorry, what skill are we looking up now?
Conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy theory. One dot is an Illuminati fan. 2 dots is a net geek. 3 dots is the Art Bell. 4 dots is Fox Mulder. And
What?
4 dots
Yeah.
in conspiracy theory is Fox Mulder.
What the fuck is that?
Have you never seen the X-Files?
Oh my
No.
god, you don't know. Oh.
Oh,
The X-Files, excellent FBI
it is really good.
alien show.
I know what the X-Files is.
Yeah, Fox Mulder is the main
I
guy
just
in the
never seen
X-Files.
it. Okay.
He is
Yeah.
the male agent.
Yeah.
He is the one who is constantly trying to believe in aliens.
Okay, never
Sorry.
mind. I'm not going for that.
And 5 dots is anyone who knows this much, don't worry the damned about it.
What does that even mean?
It means that it doesn't matter anymore. You can
Just
conspiracy
get-
about anything.
yeah.
You know
Everything
the
is
truth.
a conspiracy.
Everything.
Everything is a conspiracy. This skill is a conspiracy.
We're all just in a game, man. I know it. Fuck you all.
Okay, that would be a fun meta character to play.
Yeah.
I would
Consider
Elon
we're all
Musk is
just in a
right.
game.
This is just
Conspiracy
cons-
5, I would allow that.
If we play Mage again, I might go for that.
Talk like, gonna shoot like, you gotta roll high on those dice, man.
They just talk in
Yeah.
character as if they're playing the game.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't get a
Dead-
one, man.
Deadpool breaking
Are
the
you good
fourth
at that? I only have tune technology, man. I can't do that. Shit.
wall. What does that even mean?
Well, shit. Are you a total noob? Everybody knows that.
Okay, were there any more that we wanted to ask about before we move on?
Oh, I'm fine.
I'm good.
Microgravity Operations.
Alright, micrograv.
I knew you were gonna ask about that one.
This is basically operating in space. 1 dot is don't hyperventilate and don't throw up. 2 dots is as long as you're on a tether, you're fine. 3 dots is you can spacewalk with some competence. 4 dots, 3-dimensional movement is not out of the question. And 5 dots is you've been in space so long you don't even
sorry,
remember gravity.
Thanks. I'm gonna knock on my door. One sec.
If I ever had the chance to go to space, you would not catch me alive without that tether on. If that tether is not attached, I'm probably dead.
Did I miss something, or were we supposed to fill in Chronicle or Essence?
Chronicle is the name of this game.
Yeah.
Ah.
It's always been on the sheet as a way of if you had multiple characters noting what game they were for.
Yeah.
So
We don't really need it.
yeah, it's not really needed here because they're in the actual game themselves. Your essence is I've lost what essence is.
I'm gonna be in and out all day today.
Alright,
So-
then. Just a second, I'll look up essence. 266 Avatar Essences.
Crazy weather we're having.
We can't hear you.
You're very faint, Jamie. And now we get the dirty look because she actually has to bring her mic up.
Oh, crazy weather we're having.
No, it's not.
Yeah. It's like...
I mean, I'm actually having crazy weather.
Casey,
Hmm?
I got Primordial Essence.
Yeah.
It's basically the basics of your character, I guess, because you have nature, demeanor, and essence. It's like what the essence of your character is.
Yeah, so I found it now. So the main type of essences that you can choose from are a dynamic essence, a pattern essence, a primordial essence, or a questing essence. You can also put down, for technocrats only, a technocratic essence. And basically that is how your thought process and how your magic manifests itself. So dynamic would be... Marking yourself as a dynamic essence would be the same as marking yourself chaotic in D&D. Marking yourself as pattern, meaning that you do everything by stability and order, is like being lawful. Primordial, slightly different, is more of you like the basic things. You like the primal things. You're very in tune with how things began and how they are.
Good whiskey and scars, I get it.
Yeah.
A questing
That's how I view it as
essence.
well.
A questing essence is you're always seeking something. You're always on the lookout. You're always heading for the next thing.
Mine'll be done.
And the other one, the special one for technocrats only, the technocratic essence, is basically that the search for technology is its own reward. It is kind of it's almost those people that view the technocracy as self-fulfilling. It doesn't have to have any higher goal because it is the goal.
I'm getting Brotherhood of Steel vibes.
Yeah, what's that lawful thing? That was...
Pattern.
Pattern.
Pattern it is.
I ended up going with dynamic because my thought process is not the most stable thing.
Yeah,
It leaps around a lot.
Yeah, it says in its most subtle forms, the dynamic essence it inspires curiosity, impatience, and sometimes sudden flashes of brilliance.
Yeah.
Appearing as shadows, whispers, or poor impulse control, it goads a mage to treat every day like an adventure. At higher levels, a dynamic essence can nag at a person mercilessly if they're sitting still, forcing them to leave half-finished projects and sometimes shattering relationship in the wake of a mage who can't sit still.
You're just describing ADD to me, which is perfect
Yeah.
because I have it.
You
So
described Mage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ADD and dynamic, perfect fit, yeah. Alright, so...
But do you use them on how you get XP, Casey, like it's suggested, or don't you?
I will say it will play into things, but it's not the be-all and end-all.
Okay.
I do XP a little bit different anyway, and we will move on to that at a later point.
No worries. I just want to check with you if how we have to play our characters has to be focused mainly on our essence, because that's basically how you get XP. It's kind of annoying sometimes.
it's
You mean
helpful
how
that
to
this
play us?
essence- Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
no,
helpful that
no.
this
It's
fits me pretty well.
in the original Mage games, it's like essence was alpha omega. So if you didn't play your essence together with your nature and demeanor, you got 0 XP every time.
Yeah,
It
no,
was.
I'm not. If I catch you playing against your nature, demeanor, and essence, I'll call you out for it. But I'm not just going to flat out veto XP on it. It's I will
We're
probably
playing us.
Exactly.
So
If
that's a big
anything-
problem.
If anything, I might call you out for, okay, maybe that's not the one you should have put down. Maybe you should have actually put this one down because that's actually what you are. But
which is probably going to happen.
I
But
don't
since
think
you're playing
anybody else.
yourselves, it's not really
No,
Okay,
I
I,
don't-
assume we're talking about the essence. or-
essence. Yeah.
The whole personality thing in general.
Yeah, well, it's your nature, your demeanor, and your essence. All three aspects of that. Because you're playing yourselves, I don't think it's going to be a major problem.
It also doesn't help that it's so restricting in the amount of choice you
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, we will move on from the skills now. Unless anyone has any further questions.
Nope.
Alright.
Go ahead.
And we will quickly talk about apparatuses. Okay?
About what?
Apparatus.
Where is that at?
That is, I'm just going to put it in Skype to make it easier. Basically, for each sphere, you determine a primary apparatus, a primary way that you go about using that sphere.
Mm.
Okay?
Is that what the blanks are for in the
Can I-
spheres?
Can I give an example, just because it's a simple one?
Yeah, certainly go for it.
I'll watch you for time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pretty obvious.
But what if you do combinations of stuff?
Well, here's the thing. You can put down more than one,
Mm-hmm.
but you choose one as your primary apparatus, and if you are using that one, you get -1 to your difficulty on the roll. So, there are some examples that I've just put in Skype as common things that certain conventions tend to use. That does not mean you cannot use it if it's from a different convention. It does not mean you can't come up with something completely different on your own. But these are, if you get stuck, here's some ideas. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I like money. Just straight money.
oh yeah, oh
What?
yeah,
Money.
yeah.
I'm going to light this money on fire.
This is my
all.
magic.
Well, no, that's the thing, is to the Syndicate, that is.
Paper cuts.
To the Syndicate,
Make it
that
rain.
is. I want to have a mind effect that's going to make you let me into this place. I'm going
Get
to
some
hand
money.
you $20 as I do that effect. That is my focus for that effect. Is the money I'm handing you
Interesting.
is that mind effect.
I'm
And
gonna, which is a good example because I'm gonna use that one.
yeah, and the beauty of it is, this is whenever I'm talking about the technocracy does not believe they're doing magic. Is although you as a player will tell me I'm doing a Mind 4 effect, to your character hands him the money and smiles and says the right words, and it just works. Your character is not even always going to be aware that they are producing an effect. Do you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Entropy
when-
was out.
Mhm. Sorry, go
Wait,
ahead.
entropy is outcome of things, right?
Entropy is luck, fate, outcomes, chance. Yeah.
Then flipping a coin is not a bad thing.
Not at all.
I am going to use because I'm focusing on entropy. I'm gonna put smart glasses. So basically, I will have a heads-up display for duck, dodge, good cover, shoot there, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
So you
Yeah.
you have
That's
smart
so
glasses that
cool.
turn real life into XCOM.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
That's
65%. That's not good enough. 75, perfect. Duh.
Yeah. I have seen characters use calculators or smartphones. You know, what are the odds? You can actually, it doesn't even have to be a physical item. You could use math.
I know that's hilarious,
You-
but
you want-
it makes sense.
You want to calculate the odds of how good are the odds of you being successful. Okay, well, there's a 10% chance of this, and a 5% chance of this, a 25% chance of this. So if I do this and this, that raises the odds to this, and carry the 1, that means I have a 93% chance. And I'm not going to make you speak out that math every time, but you can say, my character is calculating the odds of success. And that math could be the focus for the action.
I'm struggling with one for Prime.
Mm.
A power bank.
That's a very good one for Technocracy Agent. A battery.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna have a power bank and I'm gonna plug it into my physical gun, like, and now it's better.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, prime batteries is a good one for Technocracy, I would say.
Mine's gonna be subliminal messaging.
Okay.
Like, I could either play something or...
play a recording and it's got something backwards in it, or...
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Could I sorry, go ahead.
For Spirit, could I just have a portal gun, like Rick's portal gun? Not like Rick's portal gun, but you know what I mean.
It does something similar.
Yeah.
Actually, having a portal gun would require dots in Wonder. Or it would require getting one later from a secret weapon. I will allow you to have it as a focus if you want to, as an apparatus, but you would not start with... You would basically either start with one that can only do what you do because you're actually powering it. It wouldn't be able to do anything you can't normally do anyway, if that makes sense. So I would allow you to start with something like that, but an actual Wonder that you could hand to someone else that they could use as well would actually require points in Wonder.
Like, I have a Wonder, for example.
Yeah, Doc has bought a Wonder. That means that it has effects on it that he could hand it to someone else, and it will still work because it powers itself.
That's cool.
Oh, but I can power it myself.
Yeah.
You can use it, but it will not. It's only as good as you are. So whatever your spirit rating is, it can't do anything you can't do because you're actually doing it through the weapon.
Right.
Yeah, and the way you would explain it, like, oh, you gotta do the calculations for it to work, and you give it to me, like, I don't know the calculations.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's something you've made, only you know how to use.
I mean, that is how Rick's portal gun works. He has to, press
he has to
it makes sense.
Yeah, but
There's
Morty,
9 buttons back there, man.
But Morty and Summer have used it.
So, but Casey, social interaction for mine, for example, when you when the tricks when you see on TV where I tap you on the shoulder there, I punch you on the back there, suddenly I misdirection, or if I know what you're thinking, I have to talk to you. So I just put everything into social interaction. Is that okay? Because it depends on the situation.
I would say choose a specific type of interaction as your primary and put the other one down as a secondary. You only get the -1 for one of them, though.
Yeah, okay. Then I would assume misdirection is my goal.
And misdirection could be physical, it could be verbal, it could be whatever.
Yeah.
It's still you're misdirecting them somehow.
But to understand how people are thinking, I have to misdirect their talk to get them off guard to make sure that I understand their mind.
Yeah.
I get you.
For matter, I want to do something with something like a 3D printer.
Yeah, that works.
It just prints material for me.
Now,
you have this giant backpack.
Yeah, that's the only thing I would say with that is that would be not very portable.
Yeah, and I realize that, but I could make, if I knew I needed it in advance, I could make what I needed and just take it with me.
Yeah, certainly, and it just means that those, if you actually have the time to prep for it, it will be easier because that's your primary focus.
Yeah.
Could I suggest something?
Sure.
Taylor? What if you had nanotechnology?
Would I? I mean, I guess it would fall under biomechanics.
Taylor, we're going to do magical things together. Little robot that go inside.
My other idea was either a big 3D printer or one that's just like a small gun, and I just point it, and it just makes it. And all I need is a little cartridge to plug into it.
Yeah, I would definitely say that actually, even thinking about it, you can get the like the 3D pins now as well, and it could be basically a very advanced 3D pin. So, yeah, I mean,
it was just going to be held like a gun. I pulled the trigger. It makes what I want.
Yeah, that would
Those things
work.
are actually crazy cheap too.
3D printing gun. I like it.
Well, have you seen the 3D printing pens?
Yeah,
I
cool,
have.
yeah.
My wife has one.
But is there a yes or no on the nanotech? Because I might put that as a secondary.
nanotech would be something that you've been exposed to. You might not necessarily have ready access to a lot of it.
But if I could get it, I could use it.
Yes.
Okay, I'll still drop that as a secondary.
Yeah.
I might not start.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's your primary because it's something that is a bit advanced. But but yeah, certainly you would have been exposed to it during your training.
Well, when this game released, nanotech wasn't a huge thing yet. Okay, so in terms of
I know.
fantasy.
I mean, nanotech's starting to come up now in real life. They're starting to build very tiny motors.
Yeah.
That could just basically go in your blood if you wanted them to.
We've been using nanotechnology for years in chemistry.
Yeah.
what
It's
I've
getting
heard.
there. It just hasn't been put out into widespread
Ferrous
use.
fluid.
Yeah,
Ferrous fluid is an
I
example of
would
nanotechnology.
actually say that it would be more apt for Jamie to have it as a primary than
Yeah.
But I do agree with that because it's like I would say that nanotech, though if we go 10 years back, would be difficult to get a hand on. But nowadays the technology has surpassed it to some
In this
degree
game, it's
because
set
people have.
5 years in the future as well.
I mean,
well,
They-
it's
they
actually
even-
not, but we'll get to that.
Jamie can even correct me on this one, but from what I heard is that they're already looking at living matter instead of nanotech to use as
They
conductive
are.
elements.
They're
so-
starting to. It's
Yeah.
weird.
The what?
Using living matter instead of nanotechnology to conduct energy instead and to access people
'Cause-
in general.
Kim put a 3 in conspiracy theories.
Yeah, exactly.
What? So
Using
I-
people as electricity, guys.
Man, you can't see it.
Actually, that's been proven that humans make very poor batteries. Someone actually did a
Yeah.
scientific study on it.
Yeah.
Futurama. Yeah.
No, not
Yeah,
Futurama. There actually was a scientist that did a study on
Yeah.
it and found it to be a
Yeah.
very bad idea.
Sorry, can I
I
just
think
put one here?
Futurama referenced that.
Um,
Matters make
we are
shit
back-
batteries.
guys, hang on. In Matter,
Mhm.
can I have like a database of shit?
Elements, periodic table, that type of thing.
Basically, in like by combining it with like correspondence with it's like a camera, I can analyze. That shit. I don't know. That car over there is made out of tinfoil.
Yeah,
You
certainly.
want something that just tells you. You point it at something, it tells you what it's made of, how much of whatever's
you-
in it is in it.
You want a broad spectrum analyzer.
Broad
Sure.
spectrum
So for forces-
analyzer.
So for
That
forces, I've
sounds
been
like a thing.
for forces, I've just put weapons and battery, but battery is a secondary. But battery's going to be my primary for prime.
Yep.
Because
That works.
in a pinch, you could use a battery for something.
Oh yeah, definitely,
To make-
definitely.
Energy. I have basically a little bit of software in my head that's just a massive world clock. It tracks all the time, just times of every major city
That works.
for time. Just because if you're going to do something really big, you kind of need to know
Oh, definitely, definitely.
what's
Do we have
coordinated.
to have a focus?
Yes.
I think we had to at least have a primary, right? Or do we need both a primary and a secondary?
No, you need at least a primary.
Okay.
I
What
got
should I?
Now here's the thing. You don't have to always use your primary to cast a spell,
Mhm.
but you do have to have an apparatus to cast the spell.
Okay, so we need something.
Yes. Now that means you
Okay.
can use one of your apparatuses from a different sphere in a pinch, but you as a Technocracy Mage, you cannot just simply conjure a lightning bolt out of your hand. It is
Yeah.
against the way you believe. You see what I mean?
That would be very vulgar.
Well, a lot of the things that you do are vulgar anyway.
Uh,
You know, if a technocrat rather has a plasma cannon for an arm,
mhm.
that's vulgar as hell.
I
But-
almost went for that.
But
Yeah.
it is still within their paradigm because it's still technology to them.
I think I'm just going to leave my prime and time with just a primary because I only have one dot in them,
Yeah,
and they're not my big thing. Yeah.
Do we need to write down our secondary?
you don't need to. You can if you want to.
I just did.
But
I
it
just
can
put
be
my-
something that we just make up on the fly, depending on the
Yes,
situation.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm thinking. If I find something interesting I want to use as a secondary, I might pick it up and keep it.
Mhm.
Like, hey, this would be useful.
This
Yeah,
is
can we
where
switch this later?
you can, yes. Not just at any point, but at XP points when we're changing things around. Yes,
Okay.
I would allow you to switch it. You
Okay.
can't just say in the middle of the session, "Oh well, I'm going to make this my primary now."
Okay.
It doesn't work like that. But like I said, using the example that I used in one of the videos previously, you know, you want to make a force field. All you have is your gun.
Mhm.
You can sit there and say, okay, using my gun as the apparatus, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hotwire the battery to generate a force field. It doesn't actually have to be the actual usage of the tech.
It just
for you-
involves it.
for you to use it as a focus. So that's something worth thinking about. You could use a laser
Right,
gun to create a force field just because you are focusing on doing something to adjust the technology to make it possible to create a force field.
Okay, cool.
Okay? Alright. I think that covers apparatuses then. We've kind of also covered how the technocracy does magic, as in they don't. They do science. It is magic, but it's not magic because they don't believe it's magic. Because they believe in science. Right? Everyone's gone very quiet at that.
Yes.
So, the other thing that we wanted to mention was kind of how this all is going to come together. So, going into that, I've mentioned a 5 years time frame, but I've also mentioned not 5 years later. What I mean by that is that...
Sorry, we don't have 2 players here.
Oh, where the hell are they?
They ran away.
Was what I said that scary that everyone left?
You said no magic, and they're like, no.
Sorry
No
about
magic.
that. Something to deal with.
Alright.
Hey,
And that's-
whore, come back.
Whoa.
That was worrying.
What was worrying?
We
I
almost
had
got
my
a shot of-
headphones on. I just had to step away.
Okay, so now that everyone's back, I'm just going to cover... It has been 5 years since each of you was recruited.
Mm-hmm.
So the last time all of you were together was 5 years ago. You have gone into a seclusion training,
Mm-hmm.
basically, with the Technocratic Union. Seeger, you especially know that where you are is in a horizon realm.
Sorry, what? We're in another dimension right now?
Where you trained for the last 5 years was in a horizon realm.
All of us?
Is this some hyperbolic time chamber shit?
Well, none of you were together. You did not. None of you knew that any of the others were recruited. At the point that we are actually starting at right now, none of you still know that each other were recruited.
Some IB guy just kicks down the door right now.
I didn't pay him enough to actually do that in real life. It would have been cool, but so yeah, you spent 5 years in this isolation training, in this horizon realm. You are then sent back out of the realm. Each of you has been separate, by the way. You have not been training together. And at the point of returning back outside of the training facility, you check the news and realize that only 1 year has passed.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking was going to happen. So we've been.
Why-me?
I assume our families knew we were recruited. We didn't just disappear.
Guess it depends, right?
Old life and new life.
That's true. I guess.
Okay,
Think Men in Black for a second.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they just disappear.
Did we die then?
Probably a few of us probably had.
Die?
Yeah, like, I'm not talking about dying. I'm talking about
Our deaths were framed, so
I'm
legally we would be dead.
not necessarily. It actually depends on each of you. Because, say for the example with Kim, because of the financial situation that Kim, with the syndicate, needs to be in, he, or people acting on his behalf, have continued trading, selling, making purchases in his name, with him in seclusion.
And of course, can I say that they abused the name and then just called me something else just so that my parents and my family wouldn't know that it was me? Is that okay with you?
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, some of you may have simply disappeared. Now, whether that means that you were reported dead, or whether that means that you were reported dead and then conveniently the report was never actually filed, there are any number of scenarios here, but you have been gone for a year. And I will let each of you kind of think through what implications you want to go with on that. And I'll let you get back to me with those as part of kind of a background later on.
Luckily for me, I don't have a very big family.
My background writes itself.
Yeah, so mine's just going to boil down to I was just gone.
Yeah, I mean,
just disappearance works the simplest. So
yeah, that's very easily possible.
Gone.
Alright.
I would come back to my family just being absolutely fucked.
Yeah.
Would we be allowed to go back to our families?
You are allowed to, yes.
Oh.
Now, the only one that would probably be frowned on would be madmen.
Yeah. I would say operatives would rather have them, like,
Yeah,
fake
operatives are
my
very
death.
much the men in black.
Yeah, cut ties.
Yeah, because of the kind of life they lead.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of other technocratic agents, some of them actually go back to their lives. In fact, you do know that many agents that are recruited never actually leave their lives. You all know that you have been groomed for something, that your training has not been standard. You have received a much higher degree of training than most people. Your training has been much more intense, much more thorough. There's been a lot more to it. And sorry, go ahead.
No, so that could explain why all of us has, because at the moment we have some crazy stats in theory.
Yes.
Compared to normal mage, that's the explanation for it then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have had a patron of some kind that, for whatever reason, has made sure that you have had the best training, the best facilities, the best of everything to make you the best possible agent you could possibly be. And who that person is and what they want is still a mystery. Officially, you don't even know that there is someone, but there have been enough people that have given bizarre, confused looks that you know that there must be someone. There is something going on that is not standard.
All right.
Our patron just wants us to play really cool D&D.
Nah.
I saw that smile, Casey.
No. He doesn't, because it's not D&D, so it's all good.
Maybe that's the ruse. We just end up playing D&D.
The whole point is just to play D&D in... Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
I will use entropy to roll nat 20, Casey.
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
Okay, cheers.
Okay. So, as you as we wrap up there, I'm just going to say, are there any questions before we actually then roll into the game itself?
What is concept?
Concept is just kind of, doesn't actually do anything in game terms, but for your own thoughts and your own mind, if you are playing someone other than yourself, it can be kind of a one-word description of your character. So it could,
I would say,
or
two
even a couple words. I mean, you could have the concept of urban samurai.
Yeah, it's just a short descriptor of the character.
Yeah, I mean, for you guys here, you could easily just put myself.
I do have a question as well.
Yep, go for it.
Resonance. We didn't do anything with that, did we?
Resonance.
Yeah, we haven't touched that at all.
Ah, okay,
No.
yeah, your resonance, that is the same as your essence. So the three original ones, dynamic, entropic, and static, are listed there. Primordial and technocratic are not listed there. So basically you would just need to fill in the blank at the side. Now, your resonance is going to start out at 0, because you have not developed any particularly strong resonance yet. But over time, that will grow, and it's kind of a dynamic thing. It's not necessarily something you buy with experience points. But then what will eventually happen is, if you are doing things, and the thing that you are acting on, the person or the thing or whatever, if it shares the same resonance that you do, it will eventually give you bonuses.
All right.
So starting out, that's just going to stay at 0, but eventually you will grow into it a bit. Okay.
And do we need to worry about dice pools at all at the very bottom? For now?
No, you don't, but I will walk you through them, because that is actually how you will roll things. So it's worth knowing, basically, the reason that you have a few of those there is because it allows you to set up some that you use commonly. So say you wanted to have a macro for firing your gun. You would select dexterity as the attribute, guns as the ability, and then you would click the die next to it, and it's going to roll those two combined dice pools. So I'm just going to jump on your sheet for a second, Taylor, and do that. So dexterity,
and then you gotta add DP mod. What's that?
dexterity and firearms. When you click it, it's going to say description, and we can just put in gun. And then DP mod is if there are any modifiers to your dice pool. So if, because of the situation, I give you 2 extra dice. So you would put a 2 into the DP mod. Then I will assign a difficulty. Standard difficulty is 6. And then it's going to roll. And Taylor had a dice pool of 1. That doesn't seem right.
No,
oh no, it is
mine
dice
should be
pool
fine.
1. And you had 1, 2, 3, 4 dice.
Yeah.
You rolled 2 1s, so that subtracts 2 successes.
Yeah, and I only had 2 7s and a 6, so I had 1 success.
Yes, you had 3 successes. You subtracted 2 of them for a total of 1 success. That is enough to say you hit. So with that shot, you would hit. Now, the way successes work with something like firing a gun is the gun will have an automatic damage number. Say damage 4. So then your damage roll, which actually, if you look at the bottom, I think I've actually assigned a bunch of buttons that you should all be able to see.
Yeah, you gotta go to the collection to the right. That's
you
next
have
to
go
session.
macros and put it in
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Ah, okay, you have to actually add them yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I
But
thought
we
if I-
can't see them.
Right, so if you put any of those you want into the bar, you have things like your dodge or your attack or your damage. So basically, you roll an attack roll. The other person rolls either a dodge roll or whatever their defensive roll is. Their defense subtracts from your number of successes. So if you rolled 3 successes, they rolled 2 to dodge. That means you only end up with 1 success.
Mm-hmm.
If you still hit at that point, then you take your weapon damage, say 4, and you don't add any extras because you didn't have any extra successes above your 1, and you would deal 4 levels of damage.
And it looks like for health, we only can take like 5 points of damage before we're down.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
damage.
guys, don't
for a
get
human?
shot.
Yeah.
For a human,
No,
that's
no,
a
no, no.
lot.
Guys, you need to think.
Oh yeah, that's still a lot.
It's this game is a lot different than D&D.
Let's
Yeah,
just
if
say
you
a
get
couple.
shot, the likelihood
Hold on.
is you're going to be hurt.
Yeah, because you got shot.
Yeah, exactly.
I might come out of it slightly
I mean-
better because I have a point of armor.
In comparison, a
Same but
vampire can get shot in the head with a 12 gauge and be pretty alright, pretty much.
It probably
Yeah.
still hurt like hell,
That's
but
only
It'll
because
hurt.
he has blood magic.
It'll
Yeah.
hurt, but you know.
he's not dead.
They're already dead.
I like the idea of sentient undead still feeling pain because it's hilarious.
If we ever come across a mummy, we should run.
Yeah, mummy are actually
That's
a lot
against
more-
the protocol.
No,
You don't
mummies
break
can't
protocol.
die, literally.
Can't kill them.
You don't break protocol.
Turn
So,
them on fire.
any more questions before we start? And any more kind of roll questions, we can always just work on them as they come up.
How are you feeling today, Casey?
I'm feeling good. Feeling good.
I
I
just have
plan
one
on
minor-
ruining that, Casey.
That's my question. It's fine. That's all.
I just have a small question.
Go
It's
for it.
For our focuses.
Mhm.
If it's just a general word like battery or weapons, if we find something specific we want to use, can we just write that in?
Yeah, I
Like
would allow
I
that.
find a specific weapon I want to use as the focus.
I wouldn't recommend that though,
Mm.
because if that weapon is in that category that you already have, you're restricting yourself for no reason.
Fair enough.
You know, if you're using pistols as a focus, why would you want to use one specific pistol when any pistol will work?
Okay.
What about enhancement armor? Is that automatically like big power marine armor, or could that mean like a power glove or something?